Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cara if you're new here, and if you're not, welcome back. So today we're gonna do all the books that I would recommend. Like, these ones were my favorites. Sometimes I really think about them, other times I forget about them, but then when I pick the book up I remember everything that I did love about these books, and I would highly recommend these books to anyone that wants to read them. If they have spice, I will tell you the spice, but I won't give you the ratings because I can't remember. So I'm just gonna say they have spice in or not. And yeah, most of these ones have spice in because there aren't a lot of clean romances that I've seen. So yeah, most of these has smut in them, but like I said, I'll tell you. So let's get into the video. We're gonna start with the fantasy because I don't have a lot of fantasy books on this list. Like, I don't own the physical copies of a lot of fantasy books. So yeah, so we're gonna go through the 5 that I do have, and yeah. So the first series I would highly recommend is Fourth Wing. I know the series is very hyped, and like, I love the series. I started the first book and read it in 2 days because I didn't have a lot of time, and then I started the second book, which is Iron Flame, and I finished that in 2 days as well. So this series is really good, and the third one comes out now in January 2025. So the series is really good, and I really did love it. If you love dragons, this will be for you. If you like a college type of situation where there are dragon riders and need to do a lot of things to survive, this is definitely the book for you. Up we have something different, you know. This is kind of like a piratey type of novel, or not novel, like series. This is a duology. I don't own the second book. I still need to buy the second book, but I have read it on my Kindle and it was absolutely good. This duology is so good. I loved it. I ate it up, and it was just so good. So I would highly recommend this one as well. And like, this one is like pirates, and she's searching for her meaning. She's trying to get back to her father, and then she finds out some things about him. She gets her inheritance. She finds out who her mother's family is, and the story's gonna go from there. It's just like a wild ride, and I absolutely love this book. And I have a book that I thought I needed to future. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but like, for me this book was really good, and like, I really did like this book very much, even though it's not something that I would have picked up myself if I had the choice. But like, because my friend read it, I decided to buy the book and read it as well, and support this author because she's in South Africa where I live. So I decided I'm gonna do this and buy the book and read it, and it was so good. So I highly recommend this book to everyone. It's If the Crown Fits. I know she has now a new cover out, and it's on Amazon. You can get it on Kindle as well. So this is a really good book, and this one was like about a thief that's trying to steal something from a prince, and the story's gonna go from there. It's just like a wild ride, and I absolutely loved it. It was so much fun seeing the characters and exploring this world, this new world, and just reading her writing style was fun as well. There were some points that I really was like, wow, okay, the book is going so quickly, and I really did love this book. And please, if you go look up this book, it has another cover, and these ones were the ones that she self-published. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Next up is a book I thought I wouldn't like, but ended up loving, and bought the second book as well and finished it. I still haven't bought the third book because it's not in B format yet, so I'm waiting on that. But it is Blade Breaker. The series is so good, and I didn't think I would like it as much as I did, and I absolutely ate it up. It was so good. When I got book 2, I really read, I think, in a day. It was really good, and I just ended up enjoying the story so much for what it was. This follows a squire, an immortal, an assassin, an old sorceress, and a pirate's daughter, and they need to like kind of save the world, and it's adventurous, and I absolutely love that. Next up we have one of my all-time favorite series from like right now, because I absolutely love the series. I couldn't put the books down. They were just so good, and that is the Crescent City series. Like I only own like the first two because again they're B format, and the third one hasn't come out in B format. But like I absolutely ate up the series. It was so good, and I just loved it. This follows Bryce and Hunt, and this follows her where she is on her journey to find out who her father was, and then she needs to do a lot of things, and she's trying to find out where she fits in this world and stuff. And obviously a lot of things happen, and she meets Hunt, and yeah, the story is gonna go from there. This one is like kind of fantasy based, and then it has like a romance in it as well. There's also smut in this one. I think all of them has smut except If the Crown Fits, and Realm Breaker. I'll just make sure about that. But like these ones were so good, and I absolutely loved this series. It was so good, and I highly recommend reading this series if you haven't already. So funny enough, I just saw some of these books. Like I have two books from the same author, but that's all right, because I do love these books, and like I want people to read more of them, if you haven't already. So like go give them a try. So the first up we have On Honeymooners. Like when I was just getting into reading, this was one of my favorite books when I just started, and I hadn't read a lot of books that at that point. So these ones are one of the books that I really enjoyed. And like I said, this was their books. Christina Lauren's books are like a hit or a miss for me, and like I really did enjoy this one. This one was very fun, and I absolutely enjoyed this one so much. So I highly recommend, and yeah, I would just like recommend that. Then the next one we have is Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. Now in the beginning I didn't really like this one because this one was like a friends to lovers, and I don't really see that trope as like one of my favorites, but I gave it a try, and I did actually end up loving it. This was also an emotional read, kind of, but I didn't cry, just so you guys know. There is an emotional aspect in this book, but I didn't cry. So yeah, it was really good, and I would highly recommend this one. Next up we have Ella Mais's books, and the first one is The Hardest Fall. Now for this book I really did think I would like it because I was in my like sporty era, and this was just like a fun read for me to get through, and I absolutely loved this book for what it was. It was really good. And I mean, I read her to Love Jason Thorne and To Hate Adam Connor. I finished those two, and then I was like in this hockey era for me, and then I was like other sporty eras as well, with like, I'm just gonna call it my sports era because like I read different types of sports, and I read this one and it was really cute. I did end up enjoying this one a lot. And then we had Marriage for One. This one was so good. Like this one is one of my favorite books of her, because like it has that marriage aspect of convenience, and like it was just so good and done well. Like I wasn't bored in this book at all, and like I didn't like the man on the cover, so I waited until she had like these ones printed, and it was just so good when I actually read it, and I just absolutely loved it and ate it up. So I highly recommend this one for Marriage of Convenience. Next up we have Dear Aaron by Mariana Zapata. Now I absolutely love this book. I haven't gotten anything that was similar to this book at all, with all the pen pal situation type of thing, and where he's in the army, and like them meeting and him like being there for her, and just like so cute. I absolutely love that. So yeah, this one is like an army type of one, and it has pen pal situation going for him, and I absolutely love this book, and I want to reread it so bad, but I know I still remember stuff, so I want to wait until like next year to reread it and see like what I did miss the first time around. And then I have from Look Off With Love. This one was my first ever Mariana Zapata book, and this one is what got me into loving her books. Like for me, when I my first time picking up the book, I only read like 50 pages and then I stopped, and I was so disappointed that this book wasn't getting anywhere. And then I later heard that she's a slow burn author, and I picked up the book again. I think that was in between 2 months or something, and I picked up the book again because I still had it. And I was so angry at myself that I didn't keep on reading, because like in the next like 2 chapters it started to get good. I wanted to kick myself so bad for that, but like I really did love this book. This one is a ice skating type of romance. They're both ice skaters, and like they compete against each other, and she has never done it professionally, but Ivan has done it professionally, and like he's one of the best of the best, and he needs a new partner, and they ask her to be his partner for the next tournaments, and she actually agrees to that. And then like a lot of things happen, and like they kind of hate each other in the beginning. I don't know why, but they do. And then later on, like they get feelings for each other, and it was just so good. I loved this book. I really highly recommend this book to everyone. So I would highly recommend you pick up this book if you haven't. And remember, it's slow burn. So next up we have a few series, maybe like 3 books that are a part of a series, like that is now just like I just took out the first book for you guys. The first one is the Kiss Quotient. Like I really did love this one, and the representation in this one for, I think it was autism, I'm not sure, I might be wrong, but I highly loved this book. I didn't like the second book as much, but I did love this book, and I really ate up this book. It was so good, and I loved everything about this couple and how they worked through the things, and it was just so much fun. And yeah, I'm very happy reading this book, and it was something else to what I normally read, because I don't really pick up that type of representation books. So this one was a really good one for me, and I highly recommend you reading this one, just to like, if you want to get to read something else, I would highly recommend this one. We have the Stopover. The series name is the Miles High Club. Now I loved this series so much. I can't explain how much I loved it, because like I'm still waiting on like the final book, which is their epilogues kind of stories, that book to like come down with the price, because it's very expensive. So I was hoping, like, because these books weren't that expensive, so I'm hoping that book like comes down and it's not that expensive. But yeah, so this series follows billionaires or millionaires, or they're rich. Okay, the men are rich in this series, and I think they're brothers, if I remember correctly. Then they're brothers, and each one is gonna get like a girl, wife, and yeah. So the tropes are different in each book. The second book, this one is the first book, and it's just an office romance, this one. The second book, it was like I think she has children and she works for him or something like that, and he like likes her and stuff like that. And the last one is the Do-Over. It's where they had like something, and then he left, and then he came back to her, I think something like that. But like I can't remember. I read these ones like I think 2 years ago, but these ones I always think about when I'm reading like a billionaire type of romance, because these ones were the first billionaire romances that I have read, and they were just like so good. We have the Chestnut Spring series. Now I have Heartless. This is the second book, and the reason why I'm holding this one is because I just love this one more than Flawless. Personally for me, Flawless was alright, but I really did love this one. This one also has like the children in it, so I really did love this one more than Flawless. And for me, it's personally like this series is the best cowboy series that I have read, and I haven't read a lot, so that's not saying something, but like I'm gonna try to read more. I'm actually currently busy reading I think Brooke Montgomery. I'll put the picture up so you guys can see I'm saying it wrong. I'm reading her series right now, and like that series is really good, and like that one also like has like trigger warnings, so just watch out for that if you decide to read her books. But getting back to Heartless, this book was so good. I loved the single dad type of trope in this one, and just how like she made everything fun, and I absolutely ate up this book. It was so good, and I highly recommend. Next one here is I think gonna be a duology, because the second book I think is already out. I just don't own it yet, but that is A Thousand Boy Kisses. Now if you want a book to cry, pick up this book, because like seriously, I don't really cry, but when I read this book I cried my eyes out at the ending. It was so emotional and so good, and I miss the jar of hearts. It was just like so cute, and I absolutely loved it, and it was just so sad, and thinking about it now I'm gonna get sad, so I'm gonna put it down because like yeah, that book was like so emotional for me, and like I don't get emotional over books, so you guys know that one was really good. Okay, so next up we have Mr. Wrong Number. Now this one is like they had a mishap and he got her number and they started talking. Now he lives with her brother, they're like flatmates, so she's kind of forbidden, if you get what I'm saying. And then he is texting her, but he doesn't know it's her, and she doesn't know it's him. Yeah, and the story's gonna go from there. I really did end up enjoying this one so much, and I just like had a fun time with this book, and I just laughed a lot in this book. I would highly recommend this book because it was so good, and like I said, it was good. I don't even have words to describe it. It was just like that good. And if you just want to pick up one of Lynn Painter's books, I would highly recommend this one, because this one for me was like the best and only one that I have read so far. Well, I have read The Love Wager, but like the others I haven't read, so my opinion isn't, you know, whatever, it's my opinion. So I highly recommend this book. For our last book with the beautiful cover is Dear Enemy by Kristen Callian. I really wanted this cover and this paperback like so much, and I struggled to get it here in South Africa. But then I asked Book Tourist SA and she got me this cover, and I absolutely adore this cover now that I have it. Okay, so this follows Macon and Delilah. Delilah's sister stole something from him, and they're gonna be like enemies type, because like the sister stole something from him. Now this Delilah, the sister, needs to work back the money or whatever, so that the sister doesn't go to jail or something like that. I'm not sure, but he said it's not something like that he can just let go, and the enemies is gonna be like there. And I absolutely adored this book. This was so good, and I loved this so much. And at the end, like their cutie romance was so good, and I absolutely loved this book. I highly recommend this book. That was all for today, so please like and subscribe, and then I'll see you guys in my next video. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like and comment. Comment please. If you have read any of these books, what did you think about them? If you haven't and are excited to read any of these, please do let me know as well. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video.